And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. Now question, why would Jesus make such an audacious statement to a guy whose family just died and all he wants is to split the inheritance? Because he understood the context. It wasn't necessarily about the fact that he was grieving someone that died. It was about the fact that he wanted something that he just had to get his grimy hands on, and he was angry and he was mad that he didn't have it. And he said, my brother has stolen it from me. And Jesus said, you know what your problem is? You're covetous. It wasn't that he was just broke and needed money. No, Jesus said the motivation of your heart is covetousness. And we see what we do, and we see what we have, and we see all of those things, what we don't have. Jesus sees past all of that into the motivation of why we even want it. Because the question isn't, why don't I have what I'm praying for? The real question is, can God trust you with what you're praying for? Because sometimes we want more, but we don't have the capacity to handle what we already have. And if we don't have enough faith to stretch into what God wants to give us, then what you're praying for won't help you, it'll hurt you. And so Jesus said, look, your problem is you're covetous. So watch this. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Everybody on the planet needs to read that verse right there. Because that's what we think. How do we judge people? By how big their house is. How do we judge people? By what they have, by what they drive, by what they wear, by how much money they have in the bank. That's how we judge people. Are they on the front cover of GQ magazine or Vogue? Are they famous? Do they have a blue check mark? And that's how we give people a vote of confidence, which, by the way, here's what the younger generation is learning. All that nonsense on Instagram is filtered life. It's not real. It's not real. We think everybody's got the perfect house. Everybody's got the perfect pet. Everybody's got the perfect kids. Oh, look how all of their children are sitting so nicely. And there's a light that comes down upon their glorious angelic faces. It took 55 takes for them little demons to sit still, and you know it. And they still had to filter it on Instagram, right? And so sometimes we think, oh my goodness, those people must be so happy because they have so much. Really? Rockefeller had more money than anybody on the planet 100 times over. He had more money than you would ever spend in 1,000 lifetimes. And when he died, all he could eat was crackers and drink milk because he was so miserable, so depressed. Because a man's life does not consist in the abundance of things that he possesses. Look, you can build the biggest house in Wilson County, but if your marriage is full of hell, you don't care how big your house is. It doesn't matter. You can fly in a Learjet, but if you go home to craziness, what good's it gonna do? And so at the end of the day, we think, I gotta have this, I gotta have this. That's the world telling you what you have to have. We're chasing stuff all the time. We're like a little dog chasing our tail. We'll never catch it. Just keep chasing, and even when we know we can't catch it, we gotta get that promotion. We gotta work hard. So you know what we've done? Let's just be honest. This wasn't even in the text, but I'm gonna say it. We have got to a place where our children have suffered in America for our poor spending habits, right? You got to work 2 jobs and never see your kids because you got to pay for a boat, and you got to pay for a truck, and you got to pay for a mortgage that you probably shouldn't have, and you got to pay for a motorcycle, and you got to have high-dollar suits, and you're making your kids never see you because you're chasing money to pay for stuff you don't even need. And Americans buy stuff they don't need with money they ain't got to impress people that don't care. At the end of the day, nobody cares how much money you have. Because you know what? To your face, they'll be like, oh my goodness, that is so wonderful. That is so marvelous. As soon as you turn around, they're like, I can't believe God's blessed them so much. My goodness, I can't believe they get that kind of money. I bet they're jerks behind closed doors. People don't care. And so Jesus said, look, here's the truth. Saved, lost, black, white, rich, poor, church, unchurched, doesn't matter. Your life is not to consist of and be consumed by what you have and what you don't.